have only 1 hour to share on these practical strategies. So without further ado, I will just begin the session. Okay, is everyone able to see my slides? Okay, let me see the chat box. Yes, that's good. All right, let me continue. Okay, so this is a session flow for today. So in 1 hour, I will spend about 10 minutes to just have to give a quick introduction to Enabling Academy for those who have not heard of us before. So at least you have some idea on what is my background. And also 40 minutes will dive in deeper into practical strategies to support neurodivergent individuals for sustainable employment. And then I will allocate 10 minutes for the Q&A. So in between, I believe that some of you, as I share, you may have some questions. You can feel free to drop it into the chat box first, and I will try my best to address towards the end of the session. And we will have moderator that could help to pick up those questions, and I will address those questions towards the end. Okay, so for those who have not heard of us before, Enabling Academy fall under Yayasan Gamuda. So Yayasan Gamuda is Gamuda Foundation, which has been established back in 2016 to oversee some of the efforts that we want to empower communities. So under Yayasan Gamuda, we have actually 5 pillars. So as you can see here, we have Gamuda Scholarship, and we have some initiative for the indigenous people, and as well as Gamuda Inspiration Award. And proud to say that since last year, we have officially launched Gamuda AI Academy as well. It's another 3-month free program to upskill people for AI industry. And lastly, this is the focus for today, which is the Enabling Academy. So who are we actually? So Enabling Academy basically is a 3-month fully sponsored transition program to prepare neurodivergent individuals for sustainable employment. So that is our tagline, to promote sustainable employment. So how do we promote that? By having individualized, customized job code support for all the trainees that we have. So later in next few slides, I will explain further. So just to give a little bit background for everyone here, that back in more than 10 years ago, actually Gamuda already started the journey of hiring neurodivergent individual. So you can see here is back in 2013. 2013 is the planning stage. 2014, we have first batch of people with autism that we recruited to work in Gamuda. And today, we have employed 22 employees with autism working across 20 departments in Gamuda. And the 3-year retention rate is very high, which is 95%. And out of these 22 employees, we have about 11 of them who have achieved 10 years of service this year. So this is the initiative initiated by our Group Managing Director, Datuk Lin Yong Ning. And because of the success stories that we witnessed, we felt that it is not sufficient for us to just do this initiative within our company. It is important to share this initiative with other companies as well, so that other companies can start this initiative and more neurodivergent individuals can benefit from it. So that is why we actually set up Enabling Academy. So you can see here for the Enabling Academy that we established in 2017. So it's fully sponsored program. That means it's free of charge for the 3-month training program. And the differences is that after they graduate from our program, we will try to secure an employment in other companies who are keen to hire neurodivergent individuals. So to date, we have trained 150 EA graduates and collaborated with more than 60 partner companies to offer them job trial, internship, contract, or full-time opportunities. So it has been 8 years of journey. So this is basically how the course is like. During the 3 months, we have course 1 and course 2. So for course 1, it is very much on soft skills development. So you can see we have classroom session where the trainees, they will have chance to learn together with their peers on some of the topics which is very important related to employability skills. For example, anger management, time management, self-awareness, succeeding in the workplace. So these are some of the things that we will address. For first half and a month, the morning session is classroom, then afternoon is practical. For remaining 1.5 2.5 months is full day practical session. So you can see we have the simulated work environment to try to simulate a corporate work environment and also other industry. So we also collaborated with partners such as Uniqlo to kind of have some re-skill training for some of our trainees. And we have other trainings such as F&B, manufacturing as well. So basically the idea is to help to prepare them for this industry. And we also have some trainees that have no idea on what kind of industry they want to be involved. So during these 3 months, we will try to give them different exposure to see what will be the right industry for them. So basically, this is course 1 and course 2. In order to know more details, exactly what we are sharing, teaching during these 3 months, you can also go to our EA website. There is one column resource section where you can download the ETP Trainers Manual for free. So it is available in 3 languages, Malay, English, and Chinese. So it's a digital version. So, but the thing is, the version is back in few years ago. So we actually already have kind of added more topics and more stuff as well, because back then we only focus on office, but actually back in after COVID, we started to expand into other industry as we are aware that not everyone is suited for corporate employment. Generally, we want to benefit more people. Hence, we have expanded to include other industry. And good news is since last year, we have officially expanded to include other neurodivergent individuals. So we are no longer just autism focused. We also take in people with dyslexia, ADHD, global developmental delay as well. So this is the target group and criteria because our program is only 3 months. So this is why we want to have the webinar today, because you also want to see how you can prepare the neurodivergent individuals for sustainable employment, because our program is just 3 months. Hence, we need to be very stringent in terms of the target group that we can reach out to. And for those who do not fulfill into this category, usually we'll try to refer them to other NGOs who can provide longer term of exposure and training or before coming to us. Yes. So you can see we have 2 pathways. So one is the office, one is the employment in other industry. But generally, we only take in people 21 years old and above because we require certain form of maturity and the motivation to work in order for them to be able to succeed in the workplace. And we will need them to have the official diagnosis. OKU card is not compulsory because we understand some of them may not feel comfortable to have the OKU card. But during the session with us, the 3-month program with us, we definitely have a session to educate them about the benefits of getting one. At the end of the day, the final decision is still with them, whether they want to obtain. But we will encourage, but we won't kind of make it mandatory to have that card to join our program to be more inclusive. So for the office corporate employment, as long as they completed secondary school education or higher, then we may consider them for the corporate employment. And then for other industry is or equivalent, because we do know some of them, it could be homeschooling, IGCSE, or maybe the formal education system just doesn't fit them. So that's why we do consider those as well. So we have 2 intakes per year, January and July intake. So our next intake, July intake, will start on this Tuesday, and we have reached our maximum capacity of 16 trainees. Previously, when we first started, we only focused on 10, but now we have expanded to include up to 16. So for next intake will be January, and we will start the interview process in October. So for whoever who might be interested in our program, they can scan this QR code to register, to apply for this program. So this QR code will lead the person to the registration form to apply for this program. So we will kind of, when we begin the interview process, we will look at all the application here. Okay, so you may be wondering who can join us, what are their backgrounds. So this is just some of the examples. It doesn't include everyone. So as I mentioned before, we do have some which is homeschooling, because we do receive questions that people felt that we only take in those who graduated from tertiary education. Not necessary. We do have some who mainly just complete the secondary school education, and some with SKM certificates, and the highest degree, of course, is master degree. So this is just some examples, and you may be wondering what kind of positions that they will be going forward. So we do have all range. It doesn't limit to just one role. So of course, majority, you can see a lot of them is in the admin role, or maybe we have a few that is under the data analyst, and then we do have some other industry which is like retail associates that we have a few few that work in Uniqlo, and we do have some that work in hotel as well as a laundry attendant. And you can see that corporate employment, it really depends on their background and their skill set and their interest. Then we will try to match them accordingly. So you can see we have someone who is engineer, and he is so good that after 5 years with us, that last year he has been officially promoted to Gamuda Singapore. So he is actually currently living in JB and travel to Gamuda Singapore to work every day, and is very independent in overall. So we do have document controller, we do have a few other roles as well. So this is our team. Now back to 7 because we have one just left us to relocate to other location, but this is our educational background. So small team, but big heart. So I have done with the quick introduction on EA on our program. So now I would like to dive in deeper into the topics for today, the practical strategies. But before I start, I would like to have some quick icebreaker and interactive session with everyone here. So I'm going to show a picture. I would like you to take a guess. You can tell me what is this object about. You can unmute or you can leave it in the chat box. So first, what do you think this object is?
It looks like a durian.
Yes, amazing. I even got it right. So this is a durian. Okay, that's a quick one. Okay, how about next picture?
Petronas Twin Towers.
Yes, we got Ahmad Zawan in the chat box also mentioned is KLCC. Okay, yes, that's right. It's KLCC. How about the next one?
Is it bread?
Keropok. Okay, some say keropok. To be more exact, more precise, I think the keropok is the right direction. Yes, Roma got it right. It's Lego. Chapati, that's an interesting one. Yes, so it's a Lego. Okay, how about the next one?
Tomato?
Yes, bingo. Okay, strawberry, good guess. So the answer is tomatoes. Next.
Candle?
Good try. Yes, it's a ball pen, the point. Yes. Okay, how about the last one? Toothbrush. Yes.
Okay.
Bingo. Thank you everyone for your active participation. So basically why I want to have this activity is because you can see that if you are very familiar with the object, right? Even though if you just look at one angle, you can immediately guess what is it, right? Unless if you really have no idea about this or you have not eaten any Lego before, then maybe you may find it very hard to guess. So the same thing applies to when we support neurodivergent individuals. It's all about really understanding where they are coming from, understanding their strengths, understanding their potential. That will really help us to be able to secure a right employment for them and to support them in the workplace accordingly. So the activities is about not just looking focus on what they cannot do, the rigid part, but we want to look at the big picture about creating the awareness and understanding that could help us to better support them, not just ourselves, and also to encourage employers to know how to support. So next, I have another questions for everyone here. So what are some common challenges that you observe while securing an employment for neurodivergent individuals? I think based on the organizer's information, I got to know that today the participant, we have parents, we have mental health professionals, we have job coaches. So based on your observation, what are some of the common challenges?
Office politics.
Oh, office politics, yes. That's very true. Communication, yes. How to get past Ivy? Anything else?
Behavior and emotions.
Yes. Stigma, gossip, bully by co-workers, independency, yes. So you can see there's a lot of things to address in the workplace, bias, stigma. Anything else? Introvert, okay. Receiving instruction by supervisors. Okay, good one. So I can see here that I can categorize it into two categories. So some here is the mentality of the third party, of the other person, right? And even how to get past the interview is also a challenge. And also is the personal challenge in terms of your communication, your personality, and one is others, one is the yourself, right? So I have put it into two categories here. So let's look into the first category first. Employers. So what are the common challenges that we observe among the employers? So first of all is, let's say if they really want to start this initiative, whether they have allocated sufficient resources to oversee or to implement this neurodivergent hiring initiative. The budget, the cost center, because a lot of time they may have a hard time to get some hiring department to hire, right? Because the cost center may have to be coming from the department itself. So if the department is given a choice of two candidates, one is with neurodivergent conditions and one is the neurotypical, who do you think the hiring managers will go for if they only have one headcount? A lot of time you can see they will definitely look for the neurotypical, right? But let's say if the employer is able to allocate a different budget cost center that is just kind of want to promote this initiative, just as how Gamuda we implemented this, that back in 11 years ago when our Datuk Lee wanted to start this project, he has this in mind. He really wants this to be successful. So we have a separate cost center to hire our people with autism to be part of Gamuda workforce. So it is under different cost center, it's not under the department, but eventually we are hoping that the department will get to see the values that the neurodivergent employees bring to the organization and they are willing to absorb under them eventually. But the thing is, this one, it needs to be in place. And the other thing is also about the human resources, whether there is a support team around to be able to oversee this, and not just about simply find a department and place them there and then expect everything will be smooth. But we also want to make sure that the HR or the support team or the people on ground, they will know exactly how to support as well. So next, let's look into the second point. Mindset of the HOD supporting staff and team. So when we first begin our journey, that a lot of people, they have no idea, no experience in how to support people with autism, especially when our Datuk Lim wanted to start this initiative. So that is the time where we need to challenge the mindset of the HOD, the supporting staff, and the team, because some of them will think that I do not have experience. Would I do more harm to the person? Or am I really ready? Is the department ready? So these are some of the things that we need to address. So what our strategy is that we start with hiring manager who are open-minded and who have this open mindset that they are willing to give it a try, very supportive. So it's on volunteerism method. So we start with the hiring department who are willing to start this initiative, and also even the supervisor buddies are those who volunteer to be part of this initiative. So in the sense that there is no pressure and it's like volunteerism that they want to be part of this ecosystem to support. But moving forward, this is very important things to be addressed that a lot of you mentioned in the chat box there is the mentality issues, is the bias, the stigma that we want to break through, because some of them, their idea of neurodivergent individuals still kind of stop at the one individuals that they have met. They just kind of relate it to all other neurodivergent individuals. So we always have to tell them, when you have met one person with autism, you have only met one. So identifying the right job match is another challenge as well, that they may be wondering that, okay, in terms of interpersonal skills, maybe that challenge, and what other roles that you think may be suitable for them. So this is also something that will require a specific skills and experience to be able to find the right job match for them, and even implementation of the reasonable accommodation or adjustment. So why we say that reasonable? Because this is some of the adjustment that is necessary to be in place to help them to be able to support their journey in the company, whether they have sensory issues that they may need a different lightings or different workstation conversations that could help them to be able to settle down at work, not too noisy, or even the way you give instruction, right? Just now in the chat box, I see someone, how the supervisor give instruction. That is something to be addressed as well. And how we communicate. We do not need to use the same approach as we use to others, but we need to adjust. And even performance appraisal, that's where we can actually look into a customized version as well. So for the neurodivergent individuals, I think one thing that I would like to highlight is the comorbid mental health conditions. This is really, really very challenging because we can see the mood fluctuates. And for employers who do not have much experience, it will be very, very challenging to support. And also depends on the neurodivergent individuals, whether they are able to actually get support from the counselor or any other mental health professionals whom they feel comfortable to journey with, to be able to help them to be able to cope with the struggles in life. So this is something that I myself also experience as I support some of our graduates, that they have so much capability and they are so high performance, but the thing is, because of these mental health conditions, it's kind of hinder their progress. So that's why this is very important area to be addressed. And misalignment of skills and interests. We do have some that they are very interested in graphic design, in creative field, but the thing is, the industry demands is way beyond that. So how do we address that when there is a mismatch, and whether they are able to be open to explore other alternatives? And attitudes is a very important part. I have a lot of employers that will say that I would rather hire someone who may not be very, very capable, but able to learn and willing to learn, receptive to correction, rather than someone who is very intellectual, but with the attitudes that it is not my fault, but it is actually others' problem. And also they don't feel that that need to change, or even very defensive. So that's why the attitudes is what matters most. And some is the awareness issues as well. The self-awareness is very lacking. Family factors, I would like to emphasize this. A lot of time the challenge is with the parents, not with the neurodivergent individuals. Good to hear that some parents are here today, that you would like to set things right. So this is something for parents to take note as well. What are some of the steps that you need to take in order to promote sustainable employment for your neurodivergent child? Then social communication is another part. Sorry for the background info. So background noise. So for social communication, sorry, hang on. Okay, so for social communication is something that just now in the chat box that I see some of you also put it there, that how to actually navigate in the workplace, especially when there is office politics, when you have problem to read people's expressions and read between the lines. So these are all the skills that is really, really important for you to be able to navigate in the workplace. And lastly, and we have other sensory issues and executive functioning as well. So executive functioning, often a lot of time that if it is not being addressed, that it may lead to the performance issues as well. So that's why these are some of the challenge that we observe based on our experience of supporting our neurodivergent individuals. So how do we address that? So among all the practitioners here today, or even any parents who want to start up something for your child and all, so you may look into actually having a structured employment transition program. So this is actually how we run our program at EA. So of course, we have the recruitment phase where we actually get the candidates to fill in the vocational aptitude assessment. This is to be filled in by the parents, and then we will interview both the candidates as well as the parents. And then after that, we have the training and job matching phase. For those who have been shortlisted and successfully get past our recruitment phase, they will get into this 3-month training. So you can see in the 3 months, they will have soft skill and practical skills training. And as well as we will try to, each of them will be assigned a job coach to follow up on their progress. So this is where you can see that we will try to have workplace assessment. We will make sure we do comprehensive assessment to help us to be able to identify a suitable job match for them. And then awareness is important. Like just now you all mentioned about the bias, the stereotypes and all. So this is where awareness session and the job coach workshop is important to help to address the mentality issues. And also even just now, I think Emily mentioned in the chat box that interview. So job coach will be present at the interview to be the middle person to bridge the gap, to actually help to address the misunderstanding. Like, for example, we have actually someone whom we have observed him during the 3 months, he can really do the work. So we sent him for this company for interview, and unfortunately, he didn't impress them, and they kind of didn't want to proceed with him. But the thing is, we are very certain of the capability of these candidates, and we felt that this job roles is something that he can do. So what we do is that we negotiate with the company. We say that why not, instead of just interview him verbally using the traditional approach, can you use practical assessment approach? So which they agree, because they are one of our partners, which they are very open to our suggestion. So they proceed to provide him a 2 hours practical assessment, a real job in the actual workplace, and instantly they love him after the practical assessment, and now he's actually doing the internship in that company now. So this is how we actually bridge the gap. And for the support at workplace, of course, ultimate goal, we hope all our trainees get to secure full-time employment, but we do have some that they felt that they are not ready for full-time, that they prefer part-time. Then yes, we do have some that opt for part-time as well. But of course, we do have some who is very fresh, then maybe just a job trial to have some experience first, and then the internship, and then after that, contract or even full-time employment. So I think the other aspect that I would like to focus on is also the social well-being support, because it's not just about work, it's also the well-being that matters, that will actually influence their progression at work as well. So we do have some of the graduates that even though they have been holding a job, but the thing is they feel very lonely in there, and they don't have any meaningful friendships, and there is no channel for them. So that's why we actually have these bi-monthly social activities, which we call EA Connect, that we open up for our EA alumni and our colleagues that work in Gamuda, neurodivergent colleagues that work in Gamuda, to join in. So these are the social activities that we have in order to, as a platform for them to build friendships and to be able to relate to one another. So this is the flowchart of our program, and I hope that this can be a reference for those practitioners here who wanted to set up a structured program to support your neurodivergent candidate. Then the roles of job coach is something that I would really want to emphasize in order to promote sustainable employment for neurodivergent individuals. So for the training phase, the preparation phase is really important to go through this journey, this process with them. Career exploration, whether it is realistic, whether it is possible, and whether there is any current gap there that we need to address first. And then the job matching, the workplace assessment, we want to see whether it's suitable. Then for the onboarding process, you can see job coach, we not only support the EA graduates, we also support the employers, because we have to wear the two thinking hat that employers, they are also very anxious. It's their first time. So when we try to support and promote sustainable employment, if we understand where employers coming from, their perspective, then we will be able to have a good balance when we try to place our neurodivergent individuals into this workplace. So you can see the support for employers. We have awareness session. We actually provide 1 day free job coach workshop for all employers as well. So among today, if you are employers, you are interested, you can feel free to reach out to me thereafter. And then for support for EA graduates is on-the-job support. So after we place them, and we continuously provide the follow-up support. So our post-placement support is up to 3 years. So because we do know 1 year is very short, there is a lot of uncertainties that could happen, unforeseen circumstances. So we support them up to 3 years. And after 3 years, what happened? We may have some that they may want to invite us for a refresher again, as due to the staff turnover, and we will go back again for sure. And then we will also kind of assess whether, like, what kind of support they will need from us after the 3 years, to decide whether we can extend our support, because we also do not want to neglect the new intake that join in while we attend to those alumni. So our goal is that we really, really hope to build up that natural support in the workplace, that the workplace itself, they have the ecosystem to know how to support. So that is the best way to promote sustainability. So next, I'm going to share with everyone 2 case studies, that through these 2 case studies, I would like to share how we can use some practical strategies to help and support the neurodivergent individuals in the workplace. So first case study is, this is not the real name, I have changed the name. So Ben, in his 30s, with autism spectrum disorder. He has a diploma in graphic design. He has past work experience in bakery, admin, and graphic design. Open to try any work. He just hope to earn stable income. Very sensitive by nature, also very thrifty. And the thing is, mom also has a mental health condition as well and can be sensitive too. So but generally, despite that some of the challenges that I mentioned here, he is a hard worker, very diligent, and work very fast. I really like seeing him doing work. It is really, really amazing, very focused, and he can do it so efficiently. So let's say if this is your case, this is your candidate, how would you support him? So can I have someone to just put it into chat box, or even you can unmute yourself to try to participate before I even share the solutions on our end. So I would like to make this interactive so that we all can have a two-way learning. Okay, let me see the chat box. Or you can feel free to ask if you have any question, any information that you would like to gather. Understand his interest first. Yes, good one. Any other comments or strategies? Yes, so Xiu Hyang mentioned we need to first understand the interest, which is very critical. And then sensory friendly environment. Yes, let's say if he has any sensory issues, we want to find out whether he has any sensory issues and he may need certain different environment that could cope. And then ask him if he prefer home-based business, whether he wants to work in open employment or home-based. So this is like career exploration. Yes, Stephanie mentioned understand his mother or parents' concern. Yes, that's right. We understand that mom has mental health condition, right? We also want to see what is mom expectations as well. Okay, yes, good one. What is he sensitive to? Give positive feedback rather than criticize. Yes, regarding the feedback, right? Let's say if there's areas for improvement. So not just positive thing, we need to also learn how to give constructive feedback, right? If not, they will not know the areas that they need to work on. So another skills that we need to learn is also how do we provide feedback that could help our neurodivergent individuals to be receptive towards that as well. So thank you everyone for your active participation. Very good point. Ensure a low stress work environment, quiet space, schedule breaks, sandwich. Yes, the sandwich. So you need to really match it. And then, okay, yes. So thank you, everyone. So let's see what we have here. So just now, some of you have already mentioned very good point here, but I would like to just adding a few more. So you can see for himself that for this candidate, the band, right? So first of all, he is very sensitive. So I think I just give you a context, for example. So during training, that one of the days that I observed that he is a bit down in the classroom. So that's why after the classroom, I kind of like just invite him to a small room and asking him, wanted to find out from him, is there any issues or any things that we can work on? But the thing is, unexpectedly, he thought that I'm going to expel him from the program. So this is how he can be super sensitive. Even I just want to ask him how is it like, but he immediately think very negatively and thought that the conversation is to expel him or terminate him from the program. So since then we know how sensitive he is, he can easily just misinterpret other situation, other intention. Even when you ask him to try himself on certain work, he will think that you don't want to teach him. So this is the extent that he may go to. So that's why after that we identified that since he is sensitive, we need to identify right communication approach with him, not just rely on verbal, but we find that written works better for him so that he wouldn't misinterpret others' intention, which cause to their his emotional issues and distress. So we use Microsoft Teams or WhatsApp, and even this is the same approach that we share with his employer when we manage to secure an employer for him. So they use the same method and it works. And suitable job match is very important because we do notice that because of his sensitivity, we cannot place him in some other industry that the environment may be hostile and people may not be understanding, and he may have a lot of arguments or dispute with others. So we need to place him in a work environment where people are maybe more educated, supportive, and willing to understand from his perspective. And even the location has to be convenient since he's thrifty, right? That even though he can drive, but then he wouldn't drive to that place because of the expensive car park, parking fees. So most likely he's relying on public transport. And the other thing is that I didn't get to mention in the bullet point form is he also has some BO, so which it can be kind of like not so comfortable for those who work closely with him. So that's why we also kind of give him some hygiene and grooming support as well, that he may be sensitive. So we need to be very tactful. We actually go through the mothers and the mother, and also we kind of have some product that we pass to him, just say that it's a free sample, so that he won't kind of feel that it's just kind of addressed to him. And then after that, with the parents, it's important as well. So it's like a three-tier approach. It's not just working on one person only. So we also verify with the job coach. So we get the mother every time. Let's say if we share any feedback with the mother, we kind of already brief the mother, please verify with the job coach, because he may have a tendency of misinterpret certain incidents. So this is the cooperation that we need from the mother, and also to make sure that the mother using the consistent approach with job coach. And we are being very firm on the terms and condition as well, saying that if fail to comply with the our method or approach, or not able to comply or share the full story or actual story, we will not be able to continue the support. So doing this strategy, it really works to help the mother to understand where we are coming from, and we can work hand in hand with the mother. And also we mentioned about the mental health support needs that I didn't get to put in, because we also suspect that he may need some counseling support, which we also communicate with the mother on the needs of getting a mental health support. Then lastly, the employers. So we definitely are well aware of his sensitivity. So this is the part that we emphasize a lot to the employer. Initially, our concern is that whether he is able to sustain the workplace in view of his sensitivity. But on the other hand, we also see that he's very capable. He can really do the work. He just needs people who can see past his personality, his sensitivity. If they can just focus on his strengths, on abilities, then actually he can still be a very good contributor to the team. So fortunately that we managed to find this company, we found that he deserved a chance and opportunities. Hence, we managed to secure a right opportunity for him that can actually tap on a little bit of his graphic design, and also his meticulous attitudes and diligent attitudes. So we customize certain job scope, and we do a awareness session, especially to emphasize that he's the type that you don't communicate too much with him. The more you communicate with him, that he will feel that you are trying to fight fault with him. He prefer that others don't bother him too much. So this is the method. So, and then after that, the check-in session is important. We will keep it short and sweet. It wouldn't be too much, but it's just more on be clear on the expectation. And then the reasonable adjustment is needed as well, that he has this phobia and anxiety towards the medical screening when he first secured this employment. So we communicated with the employers. Initially, we were thinking of maybe can link him to a doctor whom he is familiar with, but the employers are very, very supportive that they discuss and they understand the reasonable adjustment requirement. So they decided to waive the requirement, so to let him proceed without that screening. So this is one of the case that we actually supported. And the other case, Ahmad, okay, this is also another fake name. So in his 30s, this one is more complicated in a way that he has more comorbid mental health condition that is more prevalent and obvious, depression, anxiety disorder. On his good mood, he can relate to you very well, very receptive to correction, very receptive to feedback. During the interview, he can really impress. So until you get to train him, then you can really get to see how the mood swings happen and how the mood fluctuates a lot. So the job coach really need to have a lot of check-in session on daily basis or even bi-daily basis. So he has group diploma in accounting and foundation in IT. He also has some freelance experience, but again, he can be triggered easily as well. And he has protective parents. So the parents also do not want to trigger his mental health issues. So a lot of time they give in to him. And also he has some hygiene and grooming issues that even stronger BO. And if you don't even need to go near him, from far away you can smell. And then also, but the thing is, he is not totally aware and he may be sensitive. So this is something to be tackled as well. And highly intellectual, reflective, and he tends to compare a lot with others as well. He's very eager to work, but mood fluctuates. So how would you support this case? So can I have some feedback in the chat box?
I think this one is a little bit complicated. Even for me as a neurodivergent individual, uh, but I but I do feel that if I'm an employer, I will also need to be wary of his parents as well because I feel that it's not just it doesn't just require attention by the employer as well. I feel that the parents will also need to cooperate with the employer as well. So everyone needs to reach a mutual consensus. If a mutual consensus is not achieved, then it will be quite hard. And sometimes even the individual himself or herself will also need to like um check in with themselves or do reflections with themselves.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, thank you so much, Ivan. I agree with you. It's very complicated, and we really need the parents' consensus and also to understand what is the real situation. Because parents may have the unrealistic expectation that feel that, hey, you just need to get him a job, and then after he has a job, he will be okay, you'll be stabilized. But during the 3 months, we can see it's like a roller coaster. Okay, that there is a lot of different needs to be addressed. And some of you here in the chat box, you did mention you want to find out the trigger to his depression, right? And the thing is, I think when we're on the journey of supporting neurodivergent individuals, a lot of time is about masking also, right? They may seem okay on the outside until you get to have check-in session. Then you notice that it's actually due to these minor issues that he get triggered. Or like I mentioned here, he tends to compare himself a lot with others. So when he see others get to try this, he didn't get to try this, then he will immediately kind of get sensitive. But the thing is, we see that he is actually very capable. He actually can do work. But the thing is, because of his mood that is so unstable, it kind of hinder his readiness for employment. So that's why I think here mentioned a lot about the psychotherapy and psychiatry session, right? So he is also someone that he's not very open to that session because of one or two experience of not so good experience with the mental health professionals. He kind of felt that it wouldn't work for him. So sometimes he take medication, sometimes he didn't take medication. So again, this is the part that we need parents to cooperate. Yeah, if to be consistent with the medication, and if this mental health professional doesn't work, continue to look for other mental health professionals that will work. So that's why we kind of communicated with the parents, say that we won't just immediately find job for him. We will need the cooperation from the parents as well to kind of really look into his mental health needs. So priority is, we mentioned here, referral to psychologists or psychiatrists, that he really needs this, and also to work on his work motivation and awareness, that we want him to really understand, is he really ready, and does he know what is the real expectation in the workplace, even though he is very motivated to work. But the thing is, how is he going to cope? Because he is someone who is very intellectual and reflective kind. When he is on a good mood, he can reflect very well. But when he is on his downside, he cannot reason at all. So it's a very huge contrast. And the hygiene grooming, we need to be also kind of very discreet in telling him, why don't you change, make sure that when you sweat, you change and all this. So these are some of the areas that we work on him as well. And we also work with the parents. Check-in session is really crucial. Like I mentioned, he may mask his feelings that at this point he may seems okay, but actually is already like wanted to explode inside. And then reasonable adjustment, mental health leave, that during his training with us, we know that there are certain point of time that he cannot really attend full day training. So he really needed to have that mental health break. So we kind of allowed him to take that and allow him to come back again. A short break, but we kind of mentioned that if you're too long, then it's also a bit challenging for us to support. Then the other area is also the parents part is something that we really communicated a lot with his parents to like what I would say, we need to have mutual consensus on our ultimate goal. If you want us to support him for employment, you have to really make sure he get the right mental health support, and also to work on his hygiene and grooming, and be transparent with us, because we felt that the parents are hiding some info from us, or maybe they downplay certain things. So we want the parents to be honest with us so that we can better support. So this is some things that we communicated with the parents. And the employer side, that I think thanks to another centers that he managed to actually find an opportunity, an employer who is nearby his place, that is, and also got impressed by his interview. Like I mentioned, he can impress others during interview, that he secured that job to another centers, but he wanted the job continue with the same job coach from EA, because he felt very comfortable with his current job coach. So that's why the current job coach went in to do the awareness session and to really help the employers to understand he really have this strong mental health issues that will need the support. So that's why they customize the working hours for him. So he doesn't need to work until like 5 o'clock. They reduce to like 6 hours or 7 hours. Then they will kind of allow him to have more breaks as well, to allow him to be able to cope and to have a regular check-in and job coach support. So now he just started long ago. So we are actually continuing monitoring and to ensure that the parents continue to monitor his mental health condition as well, so that at least they can immediately give job coach a heads up, and we can also prepare the employers in advance to know what to take note as well. So I see got new message, link into support group. Yes, his self-esteem, and yes, we have been also trying to link him up. So it's just that for him, he is the type that one thing at a time, he cannot focus on too many things at a time. But we also tell him it's crucial for him to really engage the help from the mental health support. So this is something that he has agreed on. So to recap what I have shared through these two case studies, right, that I would like to share again for neurodivergent individuals, it all goes back to building the rapport and the trust. So to really build that strong relationship with them, that could allow them to be open with you, to be transparent with you, and to be even open to the feedback and suggestion. So again, it's another comprehensive assessment to see about their readiness and also what could be the suitable job match. And again, to try to, let's say if you are not sure what area may be suitable for them, to explore different kind of practical assessment or job trial to try to identify their strengths, and to really need to have the check-in session with job coach, which is really crucial, and provide referral to mental health support if needs arise. So for EA, you may wondering what are the areas of assessment that we look into. So these are some of the areas that we look into, like interpersonal skills, work capability, their attitudes, social, emotional behavior, even able to self-advocate, money management, and others. So these are some of the areas that we will assess, and we will also address during the 3-month training program. Then next, for the support for family, that we ensure that there is a parents briefing to all parents during the first day of training, that we have orientation for our neurodivergent individuals. We have parents briefing as well, to ensure that in that 1 hour, we tell them how our program works and what is the expectation towards parents and what are the support needed from them to manage the expectation and to make sure that we have mutual consensus. Then we have the second parents briefing that is after 1.5 months or 2 months with us, to make sure everyone is aligned. And then of course, we have individuals check-in session between the job coaches and the parents as well, for some reality check and progress. So again, you may be wondering what are the discussion areas. So let's say if the adults, it can be spouse, it can be siblings. So we do have some that maybe guardians are not available. So some are sister who come, or maybe some, it could be wife who come. So not necessarily must be parents. So to answer Alicia questions. Okay, so discussion areas, it must be like, it can be their relationship, because we do see a lot of success stories is due to supportive family members. A lot of dysfunctional family dynamics could really, really affect the performance and readiness of the neurodivergent individuals as well. So these are a few things that we will try to address. Independent living skill is really, really important. Like I mentioned, just a simple thing about the hygiene and grooming. It will be really helpful if it has been addressed since young, and even a healthy lifestyle. Some of them that overeat and then they fell asleep at work. And then so these are some of the things that could be addressed easily since young. Okay, and then after that is the mental health support, that if the family can identify some signs, early signs, if they take early intervention, that would be really, really helpful in their journey. And some of them, they have this is because late diagnosis. There have been struggles in life until later on, they only receive the diagnosis. It kind of everything makes sense. And that's why it's important if family can identify the condition since young and provide the right support, then perhaps they may not even get into this later on. Then next action, these are some of the other things that we'll discuss. Okay, and then support for employers. Again, I emphasized many times to change the mentality. But having said that, I'm not saying that just by having this, you can change the mentality of everyone. The reality is there are definitely some people whose mindset will not be changed so easily. But never mind, we work on those departments who are open and those supervisor bodies who are willing to support. So we can work with those to create success stories, and hopefully one day, those that is very rigid mindset and closed mindset, they will continue, they will kind of started to open up eventually. So again, this one, I would like to emphasize that discussion areas, it could be many aspects. We do not need to immediately look into open employment full-time, but you can look into job trial or practical assessment. And even the appointment of line manager, supervisor, and buddies are very important to select the right one, to know how to support career progression plan. And my tips in the end is, I'm aware of the time, that is, be proactive, be available, be understanding. Like lately, I have a catch-up session with one of the employer. My graduate have been with them for 6 months already. So far, so good. And when I put it in the WhatsApp group chat that with the supervisor and the buddies, I say if any concern, any issues, get back to me. But they didn't, right? Because they were so busy. Until I kind of personally text one of them, because I heard from another party that she seemed to need some additional support to support this EA graduate. So when I reached out to her, she said this to me, Grace, thank you so much. I appreciate that you are being proactive to actually schedule this check-in session with me when you get to know that I need this additional support. So again, be proactive is really important. And when they need your help, be available. Don't delay, because we do have some cases that maybe some employers, they say when you can come in. Maybe if job coach say that I'm very busy this week, can I come in next week? And things could have escalated and then lead to the consequences that will be a bit hard to address. So that's why we have to make sure that on our journey of promoting sustainable employment to neurodivergent individuals, we also have to make sure necessary support is also given to the employer side as well. So we have to balance between our support between neurodivergent individuals and the employers. If there's misunderstanding among them, we have to mediate the situations to kind of settle the issues. Later, I see a few questions coming in. I'll get into that later on. And then these are some of the slides that I would just want to quickly just flash to you, that for employer side, that we always kind of emphasize to them that in order to promote sustainable employment, equity is something that we are looking into to ensure everyone get the right support that they need. It's not just about looking into equal treatment, which is unfair at all. Then again, do not view differences as deficits, and the importance of having a circle of support at the workplace. So for those who are interested to find out more how you can actually support the neurodivergent individuals at the workplace, you are practitioners, you can actually scan this QR code to register for our free workshop. It's a 2 half-day workshop. If it is physical, it will be 1 full day. If it is online, it will be 2 half-day. And it's available in 3 languages. So you can scan the QR code if you are interested to find out more. Okay, and then now I would like to move into Q&A session. I understand that we are left with 3 minutes. So I'll pass the time to the moderator to pick up the questions, and then I will address accordingly.
Hello, Grace. I'm Ivan, and I will be moderating the Q&A session in replacement of Shiyi because Shiyi is unwell. Would you like me to introduce myself, Grace?
Okay, can, no problem.
My name is Ivan. I'm 27 years old. I'm working in a national secondary school in Limung Tebao, Penang. I am a Penangite, and yes, I'm on the spectrum as well. I have I I had a ADHD diagnosis before an autism diagnosis. Um, and I'm very excited to know more about Enabling Academy myself as well because I've never been enrolled in in any of the EA programs, but I do know a lot of my friends who happen to graduate from this program. So thank you, Gamuda. All right, we have 4 questions, so I'll just start with the first one. The first one is from Gracious. For Gracious is also on the spectrum as well. Is it possible to join without the involvement of parents? And apparently, there's also another similar question by Alicia. So I think I'll just uh, announce these 2 questions to you. Alicia is also on the spectrum as well. So both neurodivergent individuals ask, is it possible to join without the involvement of parents? Must be parents. What about autistic adults? Is spouse okay? So can you clarify on that?
Yes, I think good questions. We do have some that come to us in their 30s and they are very matured, and some of them even they are married with kids as well. So for those cases, yes, we do not need the involvement of parents, but we just need another reference person for us to be able to get to know you better. So for some cases, let's say if their reference is an uncle who is very close to them, who will know them very well, or it can be a spouse. So to answer that, we do not need to have parents for some cases, as long as you have an alternative that you can suggest. Friend, we also depends what kind of friends, like whether it's a mature friends or it's just random. It will be good to be someone that we can really know you in terms of all aspects. Yes. So can be considered, but it depends. Yes. Any other questions?
Okay, we have 2 more. We have 2 more. So the next one is by Lee Weng Chong. Lee Weng Chong, would you like to introduce yourself? Is Lee Weng Chong here? If they are not here, then I'll just proceed to ask their question. How to support an autistic youth who has poor verbal skills?
Okay, the poor verbal skills, right? Okay, we do have some trainees that come to us that they do not have many like not very fluent in their communication, but it is fine because as long as we just want to test their comprehension and their instruction taking ability, so you can see the interview with them is very brief. We will immediately move into practical assessment to kind of allow them to kind of follow our instruction to see how they execute the task. So we will have different assessment approach for those verbally may not be very fluent, maybe just 1 or 2 words or short sentences. So for those cases, we will try to match them to a more back-end support role, routine, repetitive kind of role, but at least not totally non-verbal, but at least to be able to at least give some acknowledgement, yes or no, or even can type, or simple responses that could actually still allow basic communication.
Okay, okay, thank you. The next one is by Chai Li. Chai Li, would you like to introduce yourself before we move on to ask your question?
Oh, okay. I'm Charlie here. Actually, I'm a family medicine specialist working in government health clinic. So I have encountered some patients who have some neurodivergent problems. So some of them they will ask lah, the parents will ask, is it the salary? Is it same as the usual? Yeah. So I also don't have the answer.
Okay, yeah, good questions. So again, for those that we place out into companies, they follow the standard contract employment offer, the same as others. It depends on the job grade and also the position and the work experience. So usually salary is based on the position that they apply for and also based on the work experiences and qualifications. So they are given the same as as the other as well. So I can assure you that some of our graduates is even earning more than the neurotypical.
Okay, thank you, Grace. Next one. Alicia also mentioned that she was the one who missed the July intake because of hospitalization. How can she join the program? Is there an age limit?
Yes, Alicia, I'm actually about to reply to your email after this webinar. I've drafted the response. So basically, if because our July intake is really full already, to which we have reached our maximum capacity. So the next intake is January, which our interview for next intake is in October. So age limit is up to till 39 years old. And then, so for those who can't wait and need immediate support, then I have also listed some other alternatives that you can consider as well.
Okay, the next one is by Stephanie Gan. Stephanie Gan, would you like to introduce yourself first? Hello, is Stephanie Gan on the line? If Stephanie Gan is not on the line, then I'll just proceed to ask her question. Is there a channel to reach out to for workplace harassment for neurodivergent individuals?
Okay, while waiting, let me address Alicia's questions. Yeah,
Sure.
she's asking about whether she's still qualified. Okay, Alicia, please do allow me to just connect with you personally after this. I can continue the chat with you in the email.
Okay, thank you, Grace. Stephanie's question was, is there a channel to reach out to for workplace harassment for neurodivergent individuals?
Okay, so I think so far, like all these have to go back to the labor department. But again, I would like to emphasize the support of job coach. Let's say if for the neurodivergent individuals, if they have a job coach, will be really helpful because the job coach will be the one who can actually advocate for them. Like for example, we have one graduate that actually able to advocate for himself that he went home to explain to the mother that one of these colleague was actually being harsh towards him. Then that's where job coach can go in to find out the issues and we can address together with the employers. But in terms of the channel, again, you have to go back to the human resource department, the Pakeso side. I'm sure that they will have a channel to address these workplace harassment issues.
Okay, all right, so we'll move on. Okay, Grace also, no, sorry. Gracious also asked about how to contact you. How to contact you in person. Would you like to share your contacts with everyone in the session?
Yes, I just put in my email.
Okay,
And I
great.
can give you our EA hotline as well.
Yeah.
Let me just provide EA hotline.
Uh, Hi, Yong. Yong, can you text me at 012-711-8751, which is my WhatsApp and Telegram number for that message because unfortunately I cannot copy that onto my computer. Can you personally text me regarding that? Then I'll share it to my other neurodivergent individuals and also the other aim high members if it's beneficial for them. Okay, Gracious, you can contact Grace at WC Elias Yayasan Gamuda.my. The EA hotline is 012-890-0191. Is that correct? 012-890-0191. Okay. Okay, I'll just share the QR code of AimHigh. Let me check whether there's a QR code or not because I just happen to replace she. But what I can do for now is I can share the Facebook link of AimHigh. Yemi, can you give me a while to do that? Right. Just give me a moment. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll just yeah, but Yemi, I understand that, but am I able to share my screen as well? Because okay, I'll think I'll just share my screen. Wait for a while. Okay, so I think I'll just okay, let me download this first.
Thanks, Ivan. Can you guys see my screen? I have the QR. Do you
Okay,
see my
so
screen?
sorry. This is this the one that you're seeing?
This is the QR codes of InHype.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Shi. Sorry for that.
No problem, no problem. Thanks, Ivan. So I think this is what Yemi would like to share. To introduce to everyone, this is the QR code of InHype website. So if you're interested to follow us, you can follow us at Facebook as well. Our Facebook name is InHype, but the link is let me see whether I copy the link.
Yeah, this is the one. I think that yeah, it's the same as the one that I shared, so should be no problem as well.
So just an introduction, InHype is a peer support group of autistic level 1, especially level 1 adults. So we have all the information on the website, and from the website, I think like what Alicia said, we can go to you can be linked to Facebook, and you
Okay,
can follow us.
I have just shared the picture in the comment section. I only realized that just now. Sorry for that. Because this Zoom interface is very new. And yeah, so I guess this is like what we have to deal on a daily basis. But never mind. Thank you everyone for coming to the webinar. Have you answered Stephanie's question? Hello? Grace, have you answered Stephanie's question?
Yes, Stephanie questions. Let me see.
It was on how to report for workplace harassment for neurodivergent.
Yes, already addressed just now, because I did say that about the importance of having a job coach to be the advocate for the person, or else they can actually try to go back to the human resource department, or you can go through Perkeso, and I'm sure the Perkeso will be able to link them to the right channel as well. Because now it is also Perkeso KPI to be able to place the person with disabilities in the workplace as well. So I think got any issues as such can also relate to the Perkeso. They would have a lot of connections.
Okay. Thank you very much. So I guess if there aren't any questions, then we shall call it a day. Thank you everyone for joining the webinar. Hope to see you soon, and have a pleasant Saturday evening.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you everyone. Bye.